I went and got a piece of leather to protect the table a little bit. We're in the motorhome, so these heaters are used in here. I went and found a wire for the black heater here. I don't really want to use yellow, but I don't even like this plug too much. But we'll use it till I find something better, or not going to get used very often. And I went and got some more tools. Yeah, I got some pretty good results on my last live video a few minutes, about an hour ago, maybe. So I thought I'd do it again. These, that, and that's your neutral wire, I guess. Okay. No, this wire doesn't matter. I forgot to get tie wraps. We're gonna fix this. I went and got a bunch of stuff. I got some Moretz. I call these Moretz. These are called wire caps in the US, I think. So I got some of these blue ones. They're my favorites. They're a little bit big. They might be too big. The orange ones are probably what I'm going to end up using. I only got 3. I should have got 4 of them. I know there's this one here. One of these connections got a lot of 4 wires on it. So yeah, I'm probably going to need one of these blue ones. And I got a couple of these blade spade connectors there. It's 2 different choices. I don't know. I think this one's got heat shrink tubing, heat shrinkable. And I'm not sure. This is from a name brand quality. And this is kind of your no-name made in China stuff. I got some heat shrink tubing, 1/4 inch. I paid $6 for this. Was on sale at Canada's Harbor Freight, so we got it at this Power Fist is a Princess Auto brand. Hope you guys are in frame there. I hope you can see. I better check it. This camera, when you go to zoom it in, I'm telling you, it goes all wacky. The YouTube software for the camera is not compatible with my camera. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is. So I can't even think about zooming in. It just jumps all over and in and out. So I washed a lot of these parts. And it's still raining, I think. I got some of these kits. So I bought this kit probably 20 years ago. I know it's 20 years ago. I had it when I was living in my last house. And what I've done is I put stuff in here. This is some of those better quality stuff. These here. This is what came with the kit. This is really cheap stuff. It's better than having nothing, but ring terminals. I almost never use these. These are for like tapping into a wire without cutting the wire. There's your butt connectors. These I use quite often. Ring terminals for battery. You want to add a circuit to your one of the tractors or something. And then these. I don't know. So what I've done is I have a whole cabinet. It's a Lista. The Stanley Vidmar cabinet, I think, or a Lista, one or the other. They're both made by Stanley. And I've got it full of stuff, these kits. So you can buy these containers. That's $3.25 at the dollar store. And then I just fill it up with this stuff I buy it anywhere when it's on sale or whatever. When you need it, you've got it. This might be what I'll use for that yellow wire. Either that one or this plastic one. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to use that. This thing here I will not be able to use that. Because this wire is round. It's bigger. It's a 3-wire. I couldn't find a 2-wire. And I don't know what gauge that is. Looks about the same. Oh yeah, this is even thicker here. I think this is 16 and this is probably 14. Okay. And I'm going to use this wire. This is off the black heater. We're going to use that on the white one, and we're going to throw that white one. It's going to go in the garbage. It's been repaired once already, and I think the white one I'll always use inside, and if I need one in the tractor, I'll be using this black one. So I'm going to connect in here. I got some wire strippers. I got my crimpers. A pile of garbage over here. So this piece of leather, I got that. I was driving along and there was a couch in the garbage. It had been there for a long time. It had been rained on and covered in dirt. So I got my jackknife out and I cut some leather off of it. Good cheap way to get leather. And I use it for, what I wanted it for was when I'm welding and I'm underneath a vehicle or something, I just throw that on my lap or on my pant legs, or protects you from fire, catching on fire. I'm tired of catching on fire. So you gotta run this up through, go through there. I think so. It goes through here. There's no way I'm gonna be able to use this. Yeah, it's not gonna fit on there. I took that original screw, one of these tamper-proof screws, and I took a hacksaw and I cut a groove right through it. In the middle, there was no groove in the center, so you have to have some special screwdriver. So we'll be able to reuse that. But to make this connection, I want to have yeah, I'm gonna set it up like this. I was fixing tires last week, and I called the dealer on Friday for a price on a tube. I didn't want to drive there if they didn't have it, so they said they check and call me back. They never called me back, so I called them again this morning. They have the tube I want, so I'm gonna get over there today and we're gonna take care of that. Yeah, it's raining and cold and rainy. It feels like a real November day. I was around. It's supposed to go up. It's supposed to go up like 70, 75 degrees tomorrow, but damp and rainy. But this morning it was more like, I don't even think it was 40 degrees, 36, 38 degrees, something like that. And really damp. It rained last night, so we had beautiful weather up till now. I'm not complaining about the weather. Okay, cut that. So I spent 2 weeks in Kentucky in this motorhome in the spring. It's got a propane furnace. I don't really need these electric heaters, but if you're camping and you run out of propane, you are in big trouble. We were getting low on propane, and I was starting to kind of panic because it was cold. And in April, we were there in April. It was cold that night. So we were using the furnace for the first, and of the 2 weeks, I think about a week, maybe a little less than a week, it was cold enough to use, we had to use the furnace that night to be comfortable. So we got down, the furnace was right, the propane tank underneath here is mounted right on the frame. It was really low, it needed to be filled. So I went around this. It's not easy to find places that'll fill this thing. I drove around about 5 different places. we finally found, everybody kept telling me, go here, go there. I went there, I went there. Nobody had. And then finally we found a place that has the exact what we need. And guess what? It was broken. So we couldn't fill up there either. And they told us, oh, go to this other place. So we went there, and they had, because this thing's so big, they had a spot where we could fill up, but it was a little tricky getting in there. I managed to back in, and their hose was long enough we could reach this. And we filled it up. But if I can use electric heat, if we're plugged in somewhere, I can use electric heat. And we can save the propane for, like, the fridge runs on propane, the kitchen stove here runs on propane. The generator's diesel, so we got a little Kubota diesel generator, which is good because our old motorhome had a propane generator, and when you ran out of propane, you had no fridge, no stove, no generator. You could use the microwave if you could run the generator, but we couldn't even run the generator. That kind of ruined our trip. So when I got home after that trip, that one trip, I tapped in, and I adapted a little 20-pound cylinder. It could supply propane to all everything just temporarily when your tank runs out, because all these old tanks, the gauges don't work properly. So they'll show you that it's full, but it's really probably less than half full. And then when you do run out, it's like you had no idea you were. But I think this one was showing near empty, and there's both a gauge on the tank and there's a gauge over there on the wall. So I didn't want to take a chance to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and there's no furnace anymore and it's temperature's dropping in here. So we had it filled. I'm gonna put a little electrical tape on there too. I just don't want those barrettes coming off. Oh. A little bit of tape doesn't hurt. It's a little extra insurance. I don't want this thing falling apart to go in there. So what was the problem with this? Okay, the problem, both these heaters is the same. That's what happened. So where the wire comes into the heater, it just bends back and forth over the years. And on top of that, I said it in the last live video I did just about a couple hours ago maybe. These heaters were used in a tractor. So I used them in the cab of a snow removal tractor for doing sidewalks, and then the big tractor for plowing parking lots. So they were used to keep the cab warm in the winter. And actually, it was kind of by accident that I found out how well this worked, because I put the first heater I ever bought in just to keep the hydraulic controls from freezing. I think they had probably a little bit of moisture somewhere in them, and it just seemed to always, the joysticks wouldn't move for the first 15 minutes. The oil had to warm up, and the hydraulic oil would circulate and warm up, and with friction in that, and would thaw out the whatever was frozen. So I could never figure out why it was doing that, but because it did, you couldn't rotate. It was on a snowblower, and if you rotated the chute so it was in the wrong spot, when you shut it off, that's where it was for the first 15 minutes. So you had to let it run. You had to actually snowblow to get it, if you want it to warm up fairly quickly. And then if it was pointing in the wrong way, it was kind of defeating the purpose. So you had to remember to point it in exactly where you needed it the first 15 minutes of the next time you're going to use it. And then when I put the heater in, I realized not only you get into a cab where the controls work, The seat's not frozen. The steering wheel's not frozen. The glass is all clean. There's no ice. Nothing's fogged up. And actually, for about the first 10, 15 minutes, you know, really cold. That was warm in the cab. I didn't even need the heater. So uh, that was no brainer. So I started buying heaters for all of the tractors. So I think we have about 4 or 5 of these heaters. And I think all of them are like this. They all have. I should have got some tie wraps. Anyway, there's some shrink wrap tubing. I might use that on these little blade connectors here on the other heater. I'll put this one aside because before I put the cover back on, I gotta tie wrap that. I might use this for that yellow wire. Either this or that plastic one. I don't really like that white plastic one too much. Where did I put it? This is the one that came with the heater. But that wire is much smaller, and it's because I can't use that plastic piece to lock that wire in. This is not going to work. Yeah. Yeah, we have to have one of these little things here. I don't really like these too much. They could break. So you can buy these kits at the dollar store, I was saying, and they come with all these little dividers. You can put them in. Most of them I throw back in the recycle bin. And what was I going to do with that? Yeah, spade connectors. So this one here, we're going to change this wire. I'm going to run this one in there. And there's 3 wires on that. And then the other one goes right on this little micro switch, which I think is handy because if it does get knocked over, it won't burn the building down or whatever it is. This is a really cheap plastic. When that stuff gets cold, it's just as brittle as glass. This is a better, more pliable, kind of rubbery. It's a better choice. So we're going to use this. Even though I got yellow paint all over it, it's still a better choice. Yeah, so. I'm going to crimp on. I'm probably going to use this. Even though I think the other one's a better quality connector. I think in that with a bit of this heat shrink tubing there, I'll just cut a little piece of this off. I think it'll be fine. So I washed what I could. And with these things, these 2 heaters are just covered in dirt and dust, cobwebs, and I think that's still a bit on there. Cut a little more off. Okay. I got these. These are good. These have a really good crimper on it, but I don't really like using them for much else. I'll just stick that on there. So what's everybody doing these days? I got 100 things on the go right now. We went and looked at some property yesterday that my wife's supposed to inherit from her family. Her mother is very sick right now and hasn't been easy. Let's just say that. Nothing's easy. That's why we used the motorhome. We went up there and it's very rural. It's way up in the middle of nowhere. So I would have been smarter to have the truck actually, because some of the roads we were on were really rough. But it's far enough up. It's almost 2 hours each way. So, and we spent one night there. So we spent day and a half there really well. What we did. Oop, forgot this thing. Okay. This is a little bit thicker, this wire. Okay. And then it's got this little holder. This thing here. Okay, so what screws did I have for that? I'll do some detective work here now. These. Same thing. Smaller screws? Yeah, it must be these two. Okay, so this is going back together. We will have, I bought the other thing I wanted to, the reason why I did the original video earlier today was these Williams screwdrivers. They're pretty well exact copy of the old Snap-on type of screwdrivers. Williams is still selling them. Really feel nice, and it's good quality screwdriver. It's hard to find a good quality screwdriver these days. That's not a screw. Heck, I thought I had 2 screws there. So I bought a set of 8 and from Amazon, 8-piece set. Come in this nice case. Premium mixed SD set. And it's made in the US and Canada, so I don't get that. Somehow it's made in 2 countries. So maybe one part's made in the US, one part in Canada. I don't know. And China. I'm missing a screw here. Did I drop one in there? I don't know. I was pretty sure there was 2 of those. Okay. I'll put one in for now, I guess. Yeah, I got a mess going here. Somehow. I lost the screw. I'll dump this out. I'll have to go find one. So I'll leave that there. These tiny screws are probably fell on the floor or something. Okay. It's really raining out. So we spent 2 weeks in Kentucky. I went to a lot of we visited some friends, some people my wife knows, and then we spent, and the whole time we were in here, there's 2 time zones, and the time zone goes right through the center of Kentucky in one place. So the friends that we met down there. My wife kind of got to know them in Texas when she was in Texas a number of years ago, and she's kept in touch. Facebook's a great thing for keeping in touch with people you only see once in a while. So she communicated with them, telling them we're going down to Texas. So they said, "Come on over," and we did. And they live close to that. I don't know if these are the right screws. I'm gonna try these. I think it's these silver ones here. It must be these. I count them: 2, 4, 6, 2, 4. More. It's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. That's the ones. So they have family that live on in the other time zone. So they would leave their house at, what are they saying there? Leave their house at 6:30 in the morning or something, and get to their mother-in-law's. They leave at 7:30 and get to their mother-in-law's at 7. There was some of the people that live there, when they're walking around in their house, their phone, because you know these phones, they link into whatever tower. Sometimes it would link into one time zone, and other times it would link into the other time zone, so the time would change on their phone all the time. It would change by an hour quite often. So there, we got to plug this in here. If this fits in here. There we go. That's going to look pretty good. That's going to look very professional. I thought that was crazy. That would drive me nuts. You'd have to have a wristwatch that you set. You physically have to set the time to know what time it is all the time, because if your phone's jumping back and forth, you're going to be late. Either early by an hour or late to wherever you're going. Work or whatever. I don't think the boss would be too happy if you're late all the time because your phone is in the wrong time zone. That would drive me nuts. I never heard a story like that before. Okay, so we spent a lot of time going to, there we go, that's on, to, what did we go to? We went to these flea markets. They're all over the state. They have these little flea markets on the side of the road. So I bought, what did I buy? There wasn't a lot of stuff there for sale, but I bought this thing here for the shop. Warning. To avoid injury, do not tell me how to do my job. So, kind of like that. Can you guys see that? I don't know. So we're gonna put that up in the shop. I got a lot of vacant wall space on the shop now, since I've done some insulating, and I've done. I put aspen. I put what is it? I call it aspenite, OSB, on the walls. I insulated, put that on, and then I put drywall on top of that, just to keep. I don't know. I think it looks better. It's a lot more money because you got to buy more stuff, but when you're done painting, it looks pretty good. But then the back wall, I got tired of doing that. That was a lot of work, and it's a little more expensive. So on the back wall, because I want to put shelves and things up, I just went right ahead, and I put this 1/2 inch. I think it's a birch plywood. It's a really nice quality plywood. It looks, when you paint it, it looks like drywall. It looks like a finished wall. So if you paint all the screws, I got black screws holding it on there. So I paint it first, and then I put it up on the wall, and then I touch it up and paint all the screw heads white so that it all kind of blends in a little more. So I got all this wall space. I thought, yeah, I should put some signs up and things, entertaining, kind of some jokes and some stuff like that, just to kind of decorate the shop a little. I don't know. I haven't really put much up yet, but that's the plan in the long term. Well, this one's ready. I'm going to put a little tape. I think I'm just going to use tape instead of a tie wrap. And then slam this back together. We'll plug it in and see if it runs. So I'd never been to Kentucky before. My first time there. I never even drove through the state. I'm pretty sure I'd never been through Kentucky. And we went from never being there to spending 2 weeks there. So we got to know the state pretty good. It's a beautiful state. Beautiful. Lots of forests and lots of great, friendly people. Very, very friendly. We spent a bit of time. The reason why we went there is my wife is, she's really interested. She's a level 1 Western and English coach for riding instructor. She has a full-time job and she makes a living doing something else, but she does that as a hobby. And we went there to go to Road to the Horse, which is a big one of the biggest horse events of the year in the U.S. as far as Western riding goes. And so we went and watched that. It's like 10,000 people in a stadium watching that for 3 days. I think it was 3 days. So there we go. Make sure that blade doesn't hit any wires. There we go. I think that's fixed. So yeah, that was 3 days, and then we had the rest of the time there. The other 11 days we just spent driving. And it's not very far for us to drive down there. It's about 12 hours. It's far enough, but not. It's not like for us to go to Texas or California. It's like 35 hours to Texas, 50 hours to California. So it's pretty close in respect to that. Florida, I've been to Florida quite a few times. It's about 24 hours of the border of Jacksonville. So we got one heater fixed. This is the time of year you're going to need electric heat. I heat the house with wood, so we have a wood furnace. And I don't have all my wood yet, but I have all the trees they're laying on the ground. So we've had ice storms and tornadoes, and we had the emerald ash borer, which has killed every ash tree for the whole entire province, and it's working its way towards the west. Pretty well killed every tree in this area. So there we go. I got enough firewood to last me the rest of my life on this property, and I don't even have to cut a tree down. They're all falling down. If they're not laying on the ground yet, they're standing up and they're dead, so they're dangerous. Let's plug it in and see if it works. I hope no sparks are shooting on here. There we go. You'll have to take my word for it, it's working. Put it on high. Yeah, it's working on high and low, and the fan came on, so everything's working. That's those 3 wires or 4. I think 1 wire's for the fan, 1 wire's for one element, and there's another wire for the other element. So there's 2 elements in there. This one's the same kind of setup, but it also has this extra thing. It has a thermostat right here, which I really like. You can set it at maximum, or if you want it to come off, and you're heating up a little tiny tractor cab. If it gets mild out, it would be nice for this thing to shut off if you're not there. So I think these are a bit safer to use. It's better built too, just much better quality parts inside. A lot of dust and dirt here. I didn't get this. I didn't want to spend too much time cleaning it because I could just blow it off with the compressor. You know, I think. So I just gotta go get a tie wrap. I forgot to get one. And I got this job all wrapped up here. I'll do a little more cleaning. There's a way to take the front completely off. But I have to pull this screen out, and I'm worried it's not probably not going to go back in very good. I don't know if it's glued in there. So I'm just going to leave the front and use the compressor. There we go. We were down 2 heaters, now we got 2 heaters. Back up. It's a pretty simple fix. It's amazing how many how many tools and how many parts you need to do this job. Like, it's just kind of nuts, really. Well, gotta clamp this wire in there. So I'm gonna use this black metal, black rubber with steel sheet metal, and I said that screw is an anti-tamper. I don't know why they're using anti-tamper screws on the inside of this. Doesn't make sense, but that's what they had in there. All these corporations and business in general now, they don't want you fixing anything. They just want you buying new stuff. So disposable society. Like, you should be able to fix your stuff, get parts and fix things. And I don't understand the throwaway society mentality. It's like I have a shop full of tools, and if I need something fixed, I fix it. I figure out a way to do it. I don't get the throwaway stuff. Why bother buying things if you're just gonna throw them out? Okay, there we go. Well, even reusing this screw, because I took the hacksaw and I cut the rest of that groove through there. The groove didn't go in the middle. It had no groove, so you can't use a regular screwdriver. You gotta have some special screwdriver, which is nuts. That'll work. The screw's not terribly long. Okay. So, like I was saying in the other video, I didn't mention it this time, but I use these heaters a lot when I'm painting. So instead of heating the entire shop up, I just put, if it's a small part like a rim, I just painted one of the tractor wheels last week, and I wanted to use one of these heaters. That's what made me think about fixing them. And they don't work. So they keep tripping the breaker and shooting sparks out, so you can't really use them. So that's why they had to be fixed. So I can blow heat right on a small part and not heat the entire shop up. Well, the shop's not cold in there, but it's not terribly warm. It's like 50 degrees. And you need a bit more heat, and then it helps dry too. Helps your parts dry a little quicker. So it took 2 days for that rim to not be tacky. And I want to put a second coat on, so I have to wait longer. The screwdriver's too big. That's gonna work. That'll work fine. Okay. There we go. That's what was on there, that little piece of thin plastic, so I didn't really want to use that. That wouldn't fit on there anyway. Look at how it fits here. It's just too big, this wire. That was not going to work. So this is the wire it was on originally. See, it seems fit pretty good there. This wire is 3-wire. This yellow wire is 3-wire. I don't need the ground, so I just cut the ground. I'm not using it. There's no place to put a ground on this plastic housing. There's no metal parts on it, so the ground's in there. Just cut the green wire. So we got that little mesh to put back in there. We got this little, don't remind me not to forget to put this back in. So this allows heat to, yeah, it vents the area where the controls are. So it's funny, eh? There's, oh yeah, there's vents on both sides. So yeah, look, that was a little bit of air to circulate. I guess this is probably, yeah, there's your controls. So your thermostat and your fan control. I like this heater. This is Airworks. It's pretty nice. It's like a ceramic heater or something. Works pretty good. So, the only thing I'm missing is a tie wrap. I don't really think I need it that badly. Let me see. Yeah, that wire is not gonna. It's not gonna work like that. I think maybe it's supposed to come up around that. You know, I think I need more slack. It's got to come around here. Yeah, I'll loosen it and I'll push a little more in there. I better pull it right off. I made a whole bunch of videos last year, Weird Tool Wednesday kind of titled videos. They're kind of tools that a lot of people aren't sure what they're for. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. But I didn't have time this summer. This summer was just run crazy. Just too much stuff going on, and the fall is when I do have time to do stuff. So over the summer, it was like every night something was on, and the daytime I was working quite a few hours, and not complaining or anything. It was a little bit hectic. So I want to get back in the shop again and do some more. I haven't really done anything in the shop since May. I think April, May. We built the mezzanine. We built a beautiful mezzanine. It's to be able to store long-term storage for stuff. It's in the way on the main floor of the shop. It's 2 floors of that shop. Upstairs is like the wood shop. Downstairs is like a repair kind of welding area, metal working area, and it's a garage. That's what it is. So it's a little tight for space. I got too many tools is what my biggest problem is. I don't know if that's a problem. Some people, like wives and stuff, think that's a problem. She doesn't understand the tools. She has no clue what my tools are for or how you operate them. Like the lathe and milling machine is just very foreign to her. So there we go. That's good. That's gonna work fine. So we'll get time. We're gonna be in the shop quite a bit this winter. Hopefully I'll have time to make videos. And the other thing is the computer crashed. So I had no computer for a couple of weeks. So I get behind with that too. I got a bunch of paperwork I'm supposed to do, sending in forms, and Now, whenever I bid on any job I do, I'm a contractor, so a bid on a job, I gotta send in all kinds of safety paper, all kinds of stuff. It's just an endless list. It takes to do 10 hours work, you got to do about 5 hours paperwork. I used to have to do a lot more. I do a lot less than I did years ago. But oh yeah, you guys are supposed to remind me to put those little rubber things in there. Now where do these screws go? I got these. Yeah, these are the ones going in the back. I have no idea where that screw's from. Where did that come out of? Yeah, a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. Okay. I don't know. Get this thing there. That wire's fighting me. It's much bigger and it's a little stiffer and it just doesn't want to go together. See it in the back here. Yeah, it's bumping up against there, so not a lot of room in there. At the bottom of that fan, it's only got so much room. I think I can force it to go in there. Yeah. And these little rubber things, these two little rubber feet go right in these holes here all at the same time. There. Okay. Yeah, you have to have like 25 things to do a little repair like this. Wire cutters, crimpers, side cutters, needle nose. I mean, that's normal stuff, but blade connecters, morettes, wire caps, what you guys call them in the US. And then, there we go. That bottom part's in. The top is not wanting to go in there, so what's going on here? There we go. Okay. I think the screws will pull it together. Yeah, it's not happy. It is not happy. The hole's lined up. Should go right in. What's going on here? One out of the 4 holes is lined up, so I think I'm gonna have to open this back up. I think it's got to do with this. It's kind of tilting the whole thing crooked like that. So we'll have a look and go back in. That bigger wire is not meant to fit in there. Yeah. Just not happy. Okay. Of course, this is thicker too, so we went from this little plastic thing. Where is it? I was just showing you guys this thing. Yeah, this and this size wire to it's like double the size. So I got to figure out how to. Maybe I can bend that down there a little bit. I didn't bring a pair of channel locks or anything, so I think I'll undo that screw and I'll just bend that tab up a little bit. See if I can bend that over. I didn't even bring pliers. You know, can't think of everything you're gonna need, so. I got needle nose. Yeah, let's use the needle nose. These have like a little pair of pliers on the end here. Try this. Just bend that a little bit. Holy cow. It's making it not line up anymore. Maybe I gotta cut this rubber off. Yeah. Anyway, I feel heat coming over here. I turned the furnace on a little bit earlier. It's freezing in here. You know what else I could do is probably grind right there. Grind that a little thinner. So it fits up there a little more. Well, maybe I'll end the video right here and I'll get this finished up and then you guys can... How many people are watching right now? Nobody. And we're at 51 minutes. Oh, we got some comments here. I am Groot. Yeah. Well, that's it for this video. These little heaters are handy, so it's worth spending the time fixing them. But you got to do some sort of modification for this. It's too big. We've gone from... I need 3 hands right now. I think if I grind that, maybe I'll use that white plastic holder. That seems to look like it'll fit better in there. But we've gone from these 2 parts here, which are really tiny, to this big thing here. And it's hitting right along here, so it doesn't fit. I think it's fitting right, it's hitting either in here or here, whatever side. Just not enough clearance. And I kind of need that because I am not able to use that plastic. There's a piece that really holds, this thing really holds wire tightly. Just about had to destroy it trying to get it out of there, but see that little edge right there, it locks in when you push that down in there. So because we can't use that with a bigger wire, I need this piece holding right here. And I think I'm going to go back to these little kits that I got here at the dollar store. Duramax. They sell these little white plastic ones. Quite a bit thicker. I think that's my better options to go with that. So we'll do that off camera, and I want to thank you for tuning in if you've watched this video and hear about everything going on in my life. Thanks a lot for watching.